today I would like to discuss, we know we're in the 3 weeks, and these 3 weeks are very, we know that we just had a fast, Shvas of the 17th of Tammuz, and that is the reason we fast, one of the reasons we fast, so the tablets that Moshe Rabbeinu broke, and the Beit HaMikdash was not destroyed yet, but they breached into, it broke the walls and everything. So the first and something on the second Beit HaMikdash show, and so in these days, these 3 weeks are very harsh days, a lot of din, a lot of judgments on the person, and the Ashgacha is in a low state. So in that case, what should we do? So you see a lot of people get depressed in these days, there's a lot of things happen, tragic things too. So we have to know how to sweeten the judgments, the bedin, where all the decrees comes from, is the court, the heavenly court. That's where the the decrees come from, and this is a kavanah that we do to sweeten in these the judgments, so we have better decrees. Okay, get rid of the bad decrees too. Okay, so here we go. Okay, we have like this. When we pray Tefillah Shmona Esrei, we have the first 3 brachot. This is the first 3 brachot that we do, right? The 3 blessings. Magen Avraham is the first one, Mechayim Iti the second one, and Akel HaKadosh the third one. Okay? So I don't know if I'm going to break this into a couple of lessons. We might have to do that because it's too much information. Might be too much information. Okay, let's just see how it goes. So we know the Yud Kevavke, right? The Yud, right? We say the blessing, blessed are you Hashem, that protects Magen Avraham and Mechayim Mitim, right? So now Yud Kevavke, right? So what do we? Okay. So there is Yud Kevavke is all mercy, the name of Hashem, right? But then there is the names that come before, and the name that comes after. It's more din. There's a little machlok in it, but that's how we're gonna learn. It's more din. So we know that before Yud, what comes before Yud? Right, in alphabetical order. The letter before Yud is Tet. Right? Tet. Okay? The letter before Hey is Dalet. Right? I'm not really sure if I'm... Okay? I'm not sure if you guys can see it. The Vav, what's before Vav, is Hey. And before Hey would be Dalet. So now you have Tad and Had, meaning Tet Dalet, Hey Dalet. These are a holy name. That's the name that comes right before the Yud Kevavke. Okay? So I'm writing it here. Another way is what comes after it. Yud, what comes after Yud? Kaf. Right? After Hey comes Zayin. A little hard for me to write Zayin because I'm not writing in script. No, sorry, after Hey comes Vav. Okay? I'm putting dashes in between. After Vav comes Zayin. And after Hey comes Vav. That's a holy name that comes after the one letter after the holy name, Yud Kevavke. Okay, and this is a holy name too, but it's more din. This is fully mercy, and these are mercy, but has some judgments in it. When we need judgments, because we have to sweeten judgments in judgments. Okay, and then another way to spell it, we spoke before what Adbash is, right? Adbash is like this. You take the last letter of the alphabet, the first letter, and the last letter, right? You can interchange them. Then you have the bet and the shin. So if you have something written aleph, you can change it into a taf. Or something bet, you can change it into the resh. The beginning of alphabetical order with the last letters, okay? Meaning gimel would be in kuf, you can, if you have a gimel, you can change it into a kuf, or vice versa. Okay, I mentioned this before in other videos. So here too, the Yud Kevavke, right? The Yud, how is gonna change? If the Yud can adbash, it's gonna be a mem. The Hey would be a tzaddik. A Vav would be a Fei. And a Hey would be tzaddik. Okay, that's the holy name in Adbash, the Yud Kevavke. These all come out from the Yud Kevavke. Like I said, this is the before the letters of Yud Kevavke, this is the after letters, and this is an Adbash. Okay? Now, so now you have like this. When we say the first blessing, Baruch Atah Hashem, you stop over there for a second, right? You stop here, and you have kavanah, intent, that you're shining from the Yud Kevavke into this name. That's in the first blessing of Tfilah Shmona Esrei. Okay? And then you continue the rest of the blessing. When you get to the second blessing, Baruch Atah Hashem, you stop for a second, you have intent, kavanah, that you're shining from this letter into this name. Chav Vav Zayin Vav, right? And then in the last one, Baruch Atah Hashem, not the last one, the third blessing, Baruch Atah Hashem Akel HaKadosh, you have kavanah that you're shining from the Yud Kevavke to this. This is part one. Now what you have here, these three, you prepare them for the next stage. Okay? What is the next one? Okay? This is number one. Now when you get to the, not to the end, when you get to Retzeh, that's close to the end, Retzeh, right? We have Retzeh. You have Retzeh, sorry for the, right? Retzeh really spells tzara. If you, tzara. And these, we know the configuration in these days, since it's such a harsh judgments in these 3 weeks. I'll give an example. If a person, let's say, sins, right? A person asks for something. Hashem always gives goodness comes always from Shemaim. But when a person has sins, when it comes down, the configuration can change. The letters can change, right? The accusers, the Mikatrigim can switch the letters. Even though Hashem sent good, but the person is not deserving of it because he has averot, sins, it can change. An example, right? We know oneg. This is oneg. Oneg is an enjoyment and something good, right? Oneg Shabbat, right? But if so imagine this configuration can change to nega. Okay, nega is like a wound, let's say, right? Nega tzarad. This same letters configuration can change. Another one would be shefa. Shefa is abundance, blessing, and it could be changed to pesha. Pesha, a lot of interpretation to pesha. Pesha, sins too, rebellious sins, and okay, and so on, crimes. Okay, so same thing here. When we are praying in these days, it's tzara. We say retzeh, but it's really tzara is suffering, judgments, problems. Tzara is distress, suffering. Okay, so what do? How do we sweeten the judgments? How do we sweeten? How do we sweeten the bedding, the court, the heavenly court of all the judgment comes from? Okay, so we have like this. What are the heavenly courts? There are two names, right? Interpretation of the spiritual world is by letters, right? That represents the sfirot. You know, we cannot say bedding, court. There's no. Okay, so we have to express them in letters. Okay, there's association with that. Okay, so we say Elokim, right? You know, Elokim is judgment. So Elokim is spelled Aleph, Lamed, Fei. Okay, then we have Lamed, Mem. I'm trying to write not in script, so that's the proper way to do Kavanah. Aleph, Lamed, Hey. Yud and Mem. That's one. This is one. Then we have Aleph, Adanud, which is we know that this is 2 is judgments. Okay, so this is number 1. This is number 2. Both of these are considered the courts in the heavenly, in the heaven, the courts, which all the judgments come from here. These 2 letters, actually 2 words, 2 names of Hashem is Elokim and Adonut, is Gam judgments, is judgments. We know Yud Kivavke is mercy. These are judgments, and all the judgments come from here. A person, I don't know, fell down and broke his arm. Where would it come from? Especially, these are the places it's going to come from. Especially in these days, it's so much judgment there. A person easily, that's what we refrain from going swimming in these days and doing things that are a little bit, could be in danger, because such a strong judgment happens right away. Even when it comes to arguing with someone, right away it's like gasoline. It's a little bit, it becomes huge. That's the reason, because of the judgments. It comes from here. So how do we sweeten it? Okay? So this is how it goes. We have these letters, probably should have done it before. I guess we just have to accept that this comes up to 295. Okay? And this comes up to 365. I don't know, this 65 together is 360. In Kabbalah, things have to match up. If you want to sweeten something or bring shefa from one place to another, from one word to another, from one pasuk to another, it has to match up. Has to have some common denominator. Here we have the number. Okay, these 2 come up to 360, and these 3 come up to 360. Okay. So now, when we say Retzeh and when we pray, where we did the first 3 brachot, now we're coming almost to the last part of the Tefillah Shmona Esrei. It says Retzeh. When a person says Retzeh, what are you supposed to do? Retzeh equals 295, Gematria, the numerical value. So 295 is the name of Elokim. If you add 295 to the name of Elokim, Adonut to the name of Elokim gives you 360. So this is 360. We know you have to sweeten these 2 with judgment, but we know that this judgment is not full judgment, right? Comes from the Yud Kivavke, but yeah, it's from the before and after the Adbash, but still it's mercy, but it has judgment. So you can sweeten these, okay? Sweeten them, okay? So when you say Retzeh, you stop for a second. You say Retzeh is Gematria 295, name of Elokim. You add plus 65 Adonut. These are the 2 Bedin, 2 heavenly court, the heavenly court, right? And now you have Kavanah, because this is 360, this is 360. You have Kavanah that from here, right, these three, right, are going to sweeten these 2. This one and this one. This and this. This whole thing and this whole name and this one. Again, these 3 names, you have Kavanah. These 3, you see it in your mind, or don't even have to write it down in your siddur. You see these 3 are sweetening these 2 names. That's sweetening. And what's going to happen? We said that Retzeh is really Tzara, and you switch the configuration from Tzara to Retzeh by having this Kavanah. Retzeh means favor. Tzara means suffering, troubles, suffering. Okay? So again, when you come to Retzeh, you hold for a second. Since we already sweetened them in the first 3 blessings, now we shine to them from the Yud Kivavke. Okay, now when you get to Retzeh is 295. You stop 295 plus the 65. It's 360. These 3 are 360. Since it's equal numerical value, from this they will sweeten these 2 heavenly courts to the heavenly court. So now from there is not going to come out judgments, not so harsh judgments, okay, to the person himself. And this is actually done 3 times a day for the 3 weeks, not on Shabbat. Okay, this is almost done. Then we have another kavanah. We have one more part of it. One more part goes like this. In Sim Shalom, the last blessing, the paragraph before the last blessing, Sim Shalom, right? Sim Shalom. How do you spell Sim Shalom? Sim Shalom. You have to look in your Siddur. You actually have to write these kavanot, not hard. These three, okay, in your Siddur. Well, actually, you can write it down on another piece of paper. But make sure you just don't throw it out. This has to be, holy names is a huge sin to throw out. Okay, Sim Shalom. Let's forget about this letter for now. This is a Vav, which is numerical value 6. So Sim Shalom, this is Gemata, numerical value 350. This is 370 without the Vav. What does that give you? Is 350 plus 370. Imagine you take 10 from here and put it there, it's going to be 360 plus 360. Right? Yeah? 360 plus 360. So now, when you say Sim Shalom, you stop for a second. You have Kavanah. 370 plus 350 is like 360, 360. We know that this name is 360. Both two names are 360. Again, you have Kavanah from these three names, three holy names, are sweetening the judgments of these two. Because they are 360 numerical value and this one is. So you're sweetening these judgments when you say Sim Shalom. That's one part, and another part of Sim Shalom, what are you going to do with the Vav? Vav is 6. Vav is 6. Okay? So what you do is, since what did we use before the Yud Ke Vav Ke? So you have 6. This is 1, 2, 3. You have six words here. 6 words, right? 6 names. 1, this is 1. This is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this is 5. The 6th one will be the Yud Ke Vav Ke. Just plain Yud Ke Vav Ke, name of Hashem. Okay? What you do is, the Vav represents the 6 letters. You have Kavanah the 6 words. Okay? We're going to go for the first 4. 1, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4, you have Kavanah that these 4 with the Yud Ke Vav Ke this time are sweetening these two names, the chords, the heavenly chords are sweetening these 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 are sweetening these two. Sweetening these two blue ones. Okay? Blue one, I just drew it in blue, but okay? That's so I'm just gonna go over it fast again. Okay? First thing you do, the first two blessings. You say Baruch Atah Hashem, you stop here for a second, you have Kavanah that this is shining to these letters. And we explain how we got these letters. Then same thing with the second one, shining to this one, and then this one is shining to this one. Once you have this done, when you get to Retzeh, we said, when you get to Retzeh is 295, numerical value, you add the Adonut, that's 360, okay? And 360, these are 360. Now these three names, numerical value is 360, these 3 holy names, they are sweetening the judgments of these 2. And then what's going to happen, the Retzeh, the Tzara, is going to transform into Retzeh. Tzara is suffering, the configuration will turn into Retzeh, into favor, something good. And then in the last blessing, Sim Shalom. Sim Shalom is numerical value 350, 370. If you put 10 here, it will be 360, 360. And if you add them out, it will be so 360 and 360. So what is 360? You have this is 360. These 2 names are 360. This one is 360. So this is sweetening this again in Sim Shalom in the last paragraph when you say Sim Shalom of the Tfilah Shmona. So now, what are we going to do with this Vav? The 6. What does Vav represent? 6 words. The 2 Bedin, the 2 heavenly courts, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have Kavanah, intent, that these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 are sweetening again these 2. And that's it. Seen a lot of results with this. A person can feel it. And again, 3 times a day, in 3 prayers, Shacharit, Mincha, and Aravit, you do this. And Shabbat we don't do it. Rosh Chodesh we do it for the 3 weeks until Tisha B'Av. On Tisha B'Av we do it too. Okay, up to here.